right, since I had all my whistles out anyway, I wanted to go through my Chieftain whistles that I have currently. Again, I'm shipping out my Busker low F. So, but I have one of my first whistles. My very first whistle, low D, was a Nick Metcalf PVC thing in sparkle green that I got off eBay for about $100. And my second low D was was one I got from I think I got it from Hobgoblin USA, and it was a Chieftain V3. And my sister has that specific model as a 2011. I think I got it in 2012, 2013, and it must have been 2012. I told my wife it was the last low D that I would ever need to buy. So, ha 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 ha. I have since purchased more. I think I got a Goldie set shortly after that, but I kept after a while. I think on eBay I saw a V3 low D show up, and it was $100, and I thought, I'll put in a bid on it, and I put in a bid and I won. No one else bid on it, so I got another Chieftain V3 for $100, and of all the V3s that I've played, it's one of my favorites. It's a little bit more open, takes a little bit more air, but it's got a slightly larger, fuller sound, and they're factory made, and so they're not, it keeps the cost down. But I know that there were some issues with quality control, but Phil Hardy has always been really good about exchanging things. If you have an issue, you just reach out to him, and he's swapped whistles out for me, or he's looked at them to check the tuning or any issues. So he stands behind his product. But the V3 model has kind of always been my sweet spot for. I feel like it's a little breathier than some other models, but it handles really well, very snappy, and I like the aesthetic. It's just kind of what I feel a low whistle is. It's got the quintessential low whistle tone for me. Kind of haunting, kind of hollow. So that being said, I am. All my whistles are rolling. So here is my Chieftain. Oh, so that's my V5. So here's my V3. This was one that, again, this is my favorite of the ones. So again, there's kind of a softness to the sound, but I find that it adds that's low whistly character to me. Here is another V3, which I got because I saw as a tunable one. Also got it for about $100. Turns out that it's the design of it. This one's a 2010, looks like. I got this from Hans Araki, and if you look at them side by side, you can maybe see that there's some slight differences in the windway. This one is narrower. This one has a wider windway, and if you look at the ends, set them. There's a very obvious difference. One has a taller. This one has the narrower windway, but it's slightly taller. So this one has a thinner windway. It's a little bit wider. So I play the first one. And then play this tunable one. This one is not as focused as this one. A little bit breathier, a little bit wider and fuzzier. If I had to guess, I would say it's because there's not as the same length of blade contacting the airstream, and because it's a little bit taller, the blade that is contacting it, it's got a little bit more air noise to it. So again, they're both Chieftain V3s. One's an 07, one's a 2010, so 3 years apart, and the design is different. And I know Phil made some further design changes a little bit down the line. So always a risk when you buy a model that you might get a different one than you're expecting. But hear subtle differences in between those. Then this one is another one that I got fairly recently, but this is a Chieftain OS, old style, OS for old style. It's not marked or dated other than the D on it, so I don't know when it was made, but around, I want to say it was like 2003, 2002, I think. Not exactly sure on the date, but early 2000s, Phil came out with what he called his new range design, which was similar, just with some slight tweaks. And so he posthumously, he kind of designated what he was doing before as the old style whistles. So the new range tend to have a serial number on them, on the back of them. So if you see one like this, looks very similar, has a serial number on the back, it's probably a Chieftain new range model. But he said there were like 200 of them that were made without serial numbers. So I suspect there's a little bit of variation in the design. The new range models, the first 200 were also made at the old factory, which is why the new ones, when they moved, the new ones have serial numbers on the back of them, because it was a new capability that the place had. So I think he made a few tweaks. The pictures I've seen of the Windway of the OS and the new range ones, neither of them are perfect. Neither of them are perfect match for what I have, but everything that I've been able to find about this one indicates it is an OS model, and that's what it was billed as when I purchased it. But plays very nicely, and it's in really good condition. So here's how it sounds. I actually like it almost as much as my V3. It has a little bit more back pressure. And I think the sound's a little bit more focused, a little sweeter. See, it's clogged a little. Here it's got a bigger sound, a little wilder, I guess. So a little bit more controlled. Again, I like the beefiness of my other V3. So, and then yeah. So the last of the whistles. Oh, so and then here's the V5. So I got this one. I sold one to a friend, and then saw this one on eBay and or on Marketplace. I'm not sure. And I thought, you know, V5 might as well pick up a reference copy. I've done that before. I thought, you know, might as well have one for reference. The only difference with mine on others is that this is a squared off beak, and that was me spending about 20-30 minutes with some sandpaper because I don't like how the windway width kind of like, or the actual windway channel kind of curved around with the beak. And I don't stick these whistles way into my mouth, and so I had a tendency to kind of like do that every once in a while, and it would come unsealed. So I just flattened off where the actual channel is. So now when it's in my mouth, the whole thing, like, it's in my mouth and it's sealed up. So it's more air efficient than the V3, the old V3s. It's got a little bit more back pressure. The sound is not as big. It's a little, and if I blow it harder than my V3, as hard as I need to blow my V3 to blow it into tune, this one ends up sharp. So quieter whistle overall, and it's a little bit more breathy. So that's why I like the V3, my old V3 better, is because there's breathiness, but there's also a little bit stronger of a tonal core. So. Versus. So again, personal preference. I like the extra volume of the V3. And so the last two that I have are my F whistles. So here is my Chieftain V3 low F, and I'll play my old V3 again, the low D. See how good the F is as a match for it. I feel like it's a pretty good fit for, and it's what I wanted on there, so I like it. And then lastly, here's the Chieftain Busker. Again, these are discontinued, and I'm about to sell this one, so a little bit more focused than the V3 version. This I got in 2024. and whistle. If you come across a Chieftain Busker or a Chieftain Thunderbird, I highly recommend picking them up. So anyway, those are all of my my Chieftain whistles that I have at the moment. Yeah, hope that was interesting.